there's one other thing that I don't know if it's a can of worms we want to open at all, but there is this fact that there's a lot of people who understand that the vote went one way last time, and there's a lot of people who understand the vote went another way, and there's a lot of people who don't think the vote actually got anywhere at all. Is that something that we want to try and address in this meeting? Point of information.
One option available to us is to formally amend the minutes to reflect what we decide was the outcome of the vote.
Sure.
As somebody who was on the facilitation team, I can tell you that I think there's a good case to be made that the vote passed. The problem was not the count, it was the order in the room that is the basis for everything we do, for every call that we make. And so we just felt uncomfortable. It's also emotionally laden. So that's an option available to the body.
I would like to say that all the discussions of the proposal, I believe, was excellent. I was not present here, but I'm very aware of CD's actions and been very present when that was kicked up or in any type of way. What I'm getting at is that we expelled someone. Now, we went through this at Canal with a young man who was not part of us, but it was blown into a situation that it was part of us that this thing happened, and we went our way to expel him. What I'm getting at is that we need to have reason why that happened, what line he crossed, or what actions took place. I think this proposal is very important. Not that we need to give ourselves some type of format to behave, but let it be understood that we understand that there is behavior that we respect and principles we stand on, and when those are disrespected, neglected, or overlooked, we cannot work with that person, and that is why. If that's not clear, then because we would spell the next person. Their hair too long, they speak too loud. We got to be clear. You know what I'm saying? Law and rules without principles and consciousness of it becomes like what we are under. You know, we're spiritual people. I ain't telling nobody what to believe. But all of us who breathe, we got to respect, we make law, we make rules and guidelines with conscience. And then that's why you don't drive on the other side of the street. You know this is the side you drive on. Because you break that law, that rule, or that principle, it's going to be a consequence of actions of a crash. So we must have that in place just so the language be understood. Not that we govern ourselves by this paper, but we must have it so that those who do the social networking only don't come here will understand that they do stand on principles, and that's what he did. That's why he's gone. And then maybe, we won't attract that type of stuff. They know it won't be tolerated. So we cannot move past that.
What I want to do is bring it back to the question of, do we want to legitimately try and answer the question of what happened last weekend tonight? Point of clarification?
Can we?
I think we can.
100%. We're not just going to, I think it passed. Like, there is a definitive outcome that happened.
Right. So
there is a definitive outcome that happened.
I think this is possible in 10 minutes. Do people want to give it 10 minutes to see if we can do it? Okay. So this is what I'm going to throw out there. It came out in the last meeting, and I think it's the simplest answer to this question. I do. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think the simplest answer to this question is that the GA at Kanawha did vote to expel Chris Dorsey. That was never enforced. Enforcement was a big question about what happened this last weekend. But the nuts and bolts of that proposal last Sunday was to again expel Chris Dorsey. And some people had issue with this because it had already happened. And there was a lot of things that went into it. So I think we could come to consensus now simply to uphold a proposal that was originally made, and therefore uphold the same exact proposal that took place last Sunday, and in a sense be accountable to ourselves in that way, and then be able to present to the world that that the minute, like, the vote didn't even matter because it was a redundant proposal and we all agree as a General Assembly on the agreements we've previously made and changed. Does that make sense? I mean, I think we would need to make that agreement here be really clear and then be able to somehow print that, put that out there in the minutes that we are holding firm to an agreement that we had. But I think that rather than try and explain the math of it all, because there was a lot of math I understood that went into what happened last Sunday, we can just say the math doesn't matter because we support that proposal based on the fact that it had already passed at a previous day. So, clarifying question?
Do we have the minutes from the General Assembly that happened at Canala?
I do not know.
Did you find it?
As far as I know, no. And that's what I was going to ask if.
Then it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, my clarifying question was going to be: are you just wanting to uphold the original proposal? But do we have it? As far as I know, no.
Okay, but my
Hold on. We had.
I didn't see that.
I guess my concern, and this is kind of what Ryan's paper was addressing, was that there was no real process for disciplining disruptive members. And what I liked about that one was you had kind of 3 tiers of discipline. The first being expelled for the night. The next, after 3 warnings, you're expelled for 3 GAs, and then I'm not sure what you do to get totally expelled, but I liked that, and I think that was kind of a problem with the Dorsey situation. So I don't know. It goes back to the process, and how are we going to handle this again in the future when we have disruptive members? Thank you.
Point of process?
Are we just in a general comment period right now?
That's a good question. So, yes, it appears that we are in a general comment period, because
I thought it was clarifying questions.
Because you said.
I gave direction and so about a direction that we could head, and now we're commenting on it. So why don't we finish out the people who've got hands up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we will go from there.
Well, I had this up first as an information point, but I may also add my own opinion on that. Is that within this portion?
I think it's general comments. So.
I was at the emergency meeting that happened to kick out Chris Dorsey, and so I wanted to say that we brought up the fact that, it was said that he was committing fraud. He was accepting donations in our name. That's what was brought up at that time. That's what I remember. That he was being verbally aggressive and driving people away, and a lot of what he does in general. A vote was made to kick him out, which was not upheld, but then we also included in that to ostracize him in image, to tell media and police and other outside experts or point people for everything else for media mostly and the police, that he is not a part of us, and I believe that was actually upheld by members. And I also just want to point out that this did happen, at least this vote, to say that we're not going to follow a previous GA just because minutes weren't taken is, are we just not going to follow GA, or are we only going to follow the paper trail that a GA has?
Okay, we're gonna.
We can't follow something if we don't know what we're following.
Isn't GA posted minutes?
Can someone that was there not be trusted?
Point of process?
Well, it's not process. I don't know, is this general, right?
Well, if it's not a point of process, we should
all right.
probably continue with the other people who
Yeah, it's
were
fine. Put me
in
on the
stack
stack
on this
if
thing.
you
So, I'm concerned though that the thing that I thought might be simple is not simple at all, and want to ask if we want to actually not continue on this particular vein, because it doesn't seem to be simple.
Second.
Talk more.
Do people want to continue hearing stack from people? Put your hands up if you do. That seems pretty strong. Okay,
Okay.
so who is
Stack is now being open.
Well, no, there were people in stack. It
Who was in Stack?
Jeremy,
You
Mark,
got that stack.
and Rich. Those were the people. We're just gonna keep those.
Do we have
We
five?
can open a stack possibly. Well, it was Greg, Jeremy, Mark, Murray, and Rich.
Okay.
Those were the people who put their hands up before. So we're gonna finish out that, and then we'll look from there.
I can't speak to what happened at Kanawha, but on Sunday, as the person who took the minutes, I can tell you exactly what facts were recorded, regardless of whether the final vote was certified. We did record the facts of the vote, and that's a matter of the record. Whether those facts clearly show that the vote went in favor of the proposal. I do not think it is stepping outside of our authority at all for this GA to amend the failures of the last GA, and to simply certify that that proposal passed. I think that's very reasonable.
I would like to add to this discussion that my vision is not a CD. It's not about a Chris Dorsey. My novel was about this young man named Melvin, I think it was, in the situation. What I'm trying to say, we need to have the guidelines and rules to cover all. I'm not focused on Chris. Anybody who acts like Chris, whether it's a female or whatever, smell like Chris, yeah, we is in there. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, man,
So
it's dangerous
it's
language.
not about what he or that focus on our language and our rules need to cover everyone who enters in and acts that a certain way, or that doesn't produce productiveness, that we can get things done. I ain't thinking about CD. Let's stop talking about them. Let's stop going backwards. Let's go forward.
I was just going to address the question of whether we could uphold the previous expulsion. And for me, if there are no minutes, as we hear, the only thing that makes sense to me is for that to be upheld, we have to agree that that was what's said. And I was wondering if there was anyone who disagreed that he was already previously expelled. But I think I'm hearing that he wasn't really expelled. We just told the media that he was. So I think if that is the case, then we can't talk about that because we don't know what we're talking about. But if he actually was expelled, if everybody agrees that he was expelled at Kanawha, then it's done. I mean, we don't need minutes to say what we all agree on.
Okay, Rich.
I kind of hate to bring this up, but I have a potentially strange and well, anyway, I guess my concern, potential concern, which I'm not even sure if it's a concern, but I can see it being a concern down the road, is if we are affirming that this vote passed and the majority of the people that voted in support of it left the movement, it seems strange to me. Just for...
Okay. Do we want to open up another stack to talk about this a little bit more? Okay, we're
All those in favor of opening Stack, raise them high. All right, all those stand asides,
Just give, that's my vote later.
and all those opposed.
okay. We're gonna open up another stack. Oh wait. Okay. Is this the stack now? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry. There's a 6th. Is that all right? Okay, so you will be 6.
I think the statement that the majority of the people that voted for it left, I don't think that that's correct. Like, I don't see that right here. I don't feel that way. And maybe I'm wrong. Well, the people that walked, but not the majority of people that voted for it. That's it.
Two. Whitney.
I thought it was 4, okay. Sorry, I thought it was 4, so I wasn't ready to go yet, but I'll try to collect my thoughts. Yes, I agree with that. I think that, to what Mark, what you were saying earlier, there's two different things here. There's the enforcement and there's the actual, to me, there's the actual closure of what happened Sunday. I personally have felt, as a member of the body that was there Sunday, that there needs to be some kind of closure. Nothing was determined. I think I can agree completely with what Jeremy says. We don't have to, I don't even think, if going back to whatever happened at Kanawha is too much of an issue, there's no minutes, whatever that, we can go to what happened Sunday. And we can go, and actually I think the math is very simple, and I'm not good at math. So if I think it's simple, then it's probably pretty damn simple. So that's all I have to say.
Sarah.
I don't think that was necessarily a proposal, but if it's a proposal that we change the minutes, I second it. I think that that's a good way of giving closure. It's a good way of preventing what happened at Kanawha, and I don't want to keep hashing on this subject. I think it's time to put it to bed.
Yeah,
So
there's a
it's
lot of
passing.
support of that, so passing, who was,
Yes.
I appreciate the care and attention that all of us are bringing to this matter. One thing that is kind of sticking with me is several of you have spoken eloquently about it's kind of setting a troubling precedent to do something without really having a previously agreed upon set of reasons as to why somebody's behavior will no longer be tolerated. I've been observing these things over 4 or 5 months now, and I'm comfortable that the action that I will vote to certify last week was action that was wisely taken.
Who's last this time? Oh, sorry, Ryan.
Hi, I just wanted to say that the proposal that was put forth, although I withdrew it for this evening, I do intend to get other people's input, change it, and bring it back. It's not a dead deal. I didn't want anyone to think that.
okay, we closed stack. Do we want to open another stack, or do we want to move to a vote on the proposal that was offered and seconded? So do you want to, the question is, do we want to open another stack?
There's one thing.
The body has voted not to open another stack. So we are going to now take the proposal. Do you want to speak to it,
I
Jeremy?
didn't actually make a proposal, but I will now.
Okay.
I propose that we amend the minutes from Sunday's GA to reflect that the vote passed on the matter of Bristol.
Second.
Third.
Okay. We'll take a temp check on that, because we do this funny thing sometimes. We'll take a temp check on,
Move to vote. Right?
yeah. Do we,
Sensitive.
Let's just vote.
okay, clarifying question?
What was the numbers?
Yeah, that's.
What were the numbers?
Absolutely.
27 to 3.
I'm gonna have that ready.
27 to 3.
27 to 3.
That's it's like 18.
18.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
18-9-3.
I can double check that.
18 people supported the vote in a positive, 9 stood aside, and 3 voted against it.
So out of 21 people, 3 voted no.
30 people, there was a 31 who didn't vote at all, was
Which
new
means
to the
no votes.
meeting, didn't count.
So out of 21 people, 3 voted no. Doesn't
No,
pass.
Out of
Out of
30 people.
8 didn't.
But the way we do our math is that stand aside means it's an assenting vote.
Well, that's bullshit.
Well, that's how we've done our math since the beginning.
Stand aside means you don't get in the way.
Yeah, stand aside means you're allowing something to pass. You're okay with something passing,
Yeah.
even if you don't just agree with it entirely.
It's not abstaining.
is not
from
abstaining.
the vote.
That
The
would
people
be-
doing the stand aside were aware of this.
That's how we've been doing it for a long time.
You said that.
And the reason for this is because we went to a system, I'm going to try and explain it clearly. We went to a system when we had 300 people. This was a system built around 300 people voting on a subject, where counting every one of those people was impossible, and where counting every single assenting vote would have been too many on things you were trying to pass and get 90% consensus. So we went to a model where we only counted the votes that were against something it was the only thing that made sense when there were that many people. And so if more than 10% people voted against something, it meant something did not pass, which means that voting up or stand aside were counted as assenting to the vote. It's always been that way. And if we need to change that now, we can, but it has always been that way.
Take it easy.
I would also point out that facilitation runs votes, and they're telling you how they're gonna run this vote, and if you have a problem with that, after they've explained it, the right move is to remove facilitation, and not to get into a debate about what the actual voting that's my opinion.
Okay, that probably wasn't appropriate.
Why not?
But I guess you are wait.
No, not me, you.
What?
We got to this last time. There was a debate about how exactly to count votes. Facilitation explained how we had done it before, and there was a histrionic conversation that ensued about whether or not that was the right way. What I'm saying is that this isn't the appropriate time to discuss how votes are taken.
This is not, yeah.
And if we really have a problem with how you're tallying votes, the proper move is to remove you.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, then proper move is to remove, and then what? Move up there and I move in with my understanding of how votes are.
We put it in place a new facilitator who understands the rules the right way.
Point of process.
Comment?
Yeah.
Point of process.
This is the entire problem, and we've had this 3 times. If you want to deal with the way that we do votes, put it on the agenda.
Exactly.
And then every time that we're coming to a vote, we're having the same problem, and no one does anything to actually fix it.
Okay.
Put it on the agenda, please.
Okay, we are going to take a vote on this. All those in favor of amending the minutes to reflect the math that was taken at the meeting, which was 90% in support of the proposal, 10% dissenting from the proposal, or 90% passing is a better way to say that. 90% passing, 10% not passing. And we want to amend the minutes to say that's what that vote was. Please show your support for that proposal, or for that.
Are we voting that the amendment, that the motion
The
passed?
minutes changed to show that the proposal passed. Passed. Okay, I was not clear enough apparently.
16-4.
We are voting now, I'm going to try to be more clear. We're voting now to change the minutes to show that the proposal passed. That's the simplest way to say it, I think, on Sunday.
It has to be amended minutes, we can't change them.
The amended minutes, yes. We will amend the minutes. Okay, those in support of this proposal. And we have 22 people, by the way. Those standing aside from this proposal. So 2, 3. Those against this proposal. 0. Okay, the minutes will be amended. And Rain will continue to work on this document and come back to it, and we're now going to move into announcements. Take a stack?
Yeah, sure. All right, opening stack for announcements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm sorry. Hold on, just put me up for that. I was going to completely disinvolve myself from the GA, but sure, put me down for a down vote.
Okay, 1 down vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if that will bring anyone back, but as of now, I am the only member of logistics, and I can't run it by myself. And so I am putting a call out for anyone who would like to be a part of logistics and set up a meeting time. So, yes.
Can you clarify logistics and what they do?
Logistics is, in general, the idea, sorry. It was started to be camp setup and camp takedown, and it's grown a little bit more into, we've created a framework for camp, and there was talk of starting to create a framework for putting out events, not putting out the events, but the logistics behind events and what they would need from our resources and things like that. Also, we have the keys to the U-Haul where everything is. And that's a responsibility I don't feel comfortable having entirely to myself.
Will logistics be taking on the task of finding a new GA location?
Logistics is not that is not the stated purpose of logistics. The stated purpose is that it facilitates the option of GA in going to that location and having some sort of quick and orderly process to take up, take down, but with one person, that's the pipe dream. Yeah. So please come to me if you're interested, otherwise, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Thank you, Dave.
Every day, weekdays, 11 to 3, we need people outside Virginia General Assembly. That's at 9th and Broad. We're basically setting up right along the cobblestone walkway. We had people out there the first few days. We had a pretty nice turnout, kind of. We just need to be out there. We need to have a presence. And I have a large number of signs in my car right now. One that says, "Keep your laws out of my vagina." So if there are any females out there that would like to hold that sign, I can't be there tomorrow, but starting on Monday, I plan on being out there on my lunch break. If only for an hour, please come out and let's get back on the streets again.
I like my announcement is concerning the support of Occupy the Hood. I really love and appreciate everything that was done and everyone who contributed. I just wanted it to be known, I do not know the direction of Occupy the Hood at this time, but I am still much involved in the community. I'm still got plans for the summer, and I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So there's no need to go through the particulars of that, but Occupy the Hood was something I joined to help support. I didn't start it, but it was a good thing, and I believe some good things came out of it. And I need a ride home from here. So, so anyone can help me, I like to thank you all. I want everybody to keep their heads up. I think we are beautiful. We're doing great things, and great things will continue to be done. And like I said in the beginning earlier, my soapbox, don't let Facebook suck you in. You know what I'm saying? You know, you walk that dog, don't let that dog walk you. I'm like,
Where you live?
oh, I live off Darbytown Road.
East End.
East. All right, go, yeah, Verona.
Am I up for announcements? I thought there was other people before me still.
Got it right.
Tomorrow morning at 8:30, the Center for Constitutional Rights has taken up a case, 2 Iraqi citizens that were detained and allegedly tortured without cause. Court case in the morning at 4th Circuit Courthouse, if anybody would like to attend. That's on 1100 East Main Street. Courtroom Butzner in Bonk, courtroom 201. So support for two folks that were tortured in Iraq.
I have a question. Is that information gonna be posted somewhere?
I can
in
post
particular?
it tonight.
Okay.
Greg brought up a very important thing that we need to figure out. Who left and what were their roles?
Yeah.
If anyone wants to work on that after this, in very, very, very briefly, 10 minutes of who left. I can figure out their roles. I just need to know who left. I also have signs. If anyone is trying to go to the Virginia GA, I've got some signs in my car if someone wants to grab them. Also, I wanted to temp check something. I just want to quickly temp check. What are your people's thoughts on if voting members of the body must sign the code of conduct?
Showed up.
Got a lot of downloads.
Do any other announcements?
BDO would like to announce that we have a event submission form. I'm not getting a lot of events. Maybe that's just because Occupy doesn't want to do anything. It's a great way to get the word out. It makes our lives a lot easier because it tells you exactly the information that we need from you. So please use it. It's at events.occupyrva.org.
Point of information on that. I tried submitting some events, and I'm not very computer intuitive, and was very frustrated, because it wanted my email address and my password, but I had never registered, so
I actually responded to you on Facebook.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You're-
So my bottom line is, you go to event and just start typing it in, and it pops in. So I have a happy ending of the story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really neat.
Sign in is to make sure that only certain people approve things.
Yeah, that's for admin.
Oh, okay.
I should make that clearer.
Okay, thanks.
Any other announcements? Can I clarify that?
Is that for... On the website lately, there haven't been events on the right-hand side.
It disappeared off of the website. It's back on there, right, Jeremy?
Yep.
Anybody else? Move to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you, facilitating team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So something that we should just all be thinking about is agenda items for Sunday. Maybe this proposal will end up coming back, so maybe it can get posted and people can be thinking about it. And also possibly some work on strategy stuff that got postponed that didn't happen today.
New location.
New location.
I
That was
open my
the thing I
house
was
up
getting
anytime.
to, is that we may want to be considering new locations.
We're gonna have to be in chat somewhere.
If anybody's interested in the Planned Parenthood benefit, come see me.
You know I can talk.
Just contact someone else before we get.
Sometimes.
Wasn't he here today?